Two.
Straight on it. What a great intro.
Well, that's superb. There's a clip straight away for the start of this one.
Absolutely. So, David.
Hello, Stephen.
How you doing?
Hello. We've got more important people to
We
be
have
talking to, not just us today.
Craig Harrison is here live. Hopefully you can see him.
I can see him.
I can see him. But Craig, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm very good. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
I know you're a busy man, so we really appreciate having you on. And obviously this is going to be part of our kind of checking in, which, as we said before, is really just about us seeing how you're doing, finding out what you've been up to, just being a bit nosy, really, I think, and having a chat, really. So I'm sure people have seen you everywhere. I know I was going to use the word prolific, but I think it might be a bit hard. Prolific on social, but ultimately, tell us about yourself for anyone that doesn't know.
So my name's Craig Harrison. I'm known for being a sniper in the British Army, and I used to hold the world record for the longest sniper kill. I still hold it for the small caliber, but
Shit.
50 cal is he's knocks spots off anything really.
What was the record?
Well, it's 2,475 yards is mine, and I think it's gone over 2 miles now.
I can't even run that far.
A Ukrainian beat it, yeah. But the rifle he did it with, he made himself, and it takes two people to carry it and two people to set it up. So, yeah, where's the justice?
What sort of gun is that?
I do like a fucking bazooka, you know.
And what with yours? Was like
Just a normal standard issued rifle, yeah.
Holy shit! So that's obviously takes a lot more skill. That is and obviously you hit the target that you.
Well, yeah.
But no.
Otherwise you wouldn't hold the record.
No, I know.
He missed. Well done, Craig.
He grazed his ear. So where was that? Do you mind me asking? Where was that?
That was a place in Afghanistan, northern Helmans, a place called Musakala. So it was probably south of Musakala, a place called Talajan. There was a big mission going in there, and I had 12 of my blokes pinned down. So I had to make a few decisions, and I made the right ones and pulled 12 of them out of there, yeah.
Oh my God, that frightens the
biggest... I actually got butterflies.
Yeah, no, the biggest decision I had to make today was I needed to get to the dump before it closed because we've changed a load of stuff on our garden. So it makes, on my day-to-day working life, I've got to make sure I cook my chicken on time.
That's what I'm like now, though. Gotta wait till I get to the tip. I fucking love the tip. I say to my wife all the time, I just booked appointments to go around the car park and back out again. So I just fucking love it.
Absolutely.
My girlfriend does. She loves recycling.
Oh,
so she's obsessed with recycling. She's like she does the man's recycling job in this house. It's like she's like, just leave it. You can't do it right.
Yeah.
She did recycles like bits of foil, and she's good as gold. So she loves the dump.
I don't mind it goes in the same dustbin lorry. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I want to think I'm doing the right thing.
So you're not serving anymore, are you? As such, you're not kind of active. What are you up to nowadays?
I just work in a factory now, just plodding on, and I've also just been accepted to be a charity. I run a bushcraft school for veterans and people struggling with mental health. And I do it weekends, and they come down on a Friday, and they leave on a Sunday morning, and we just do bushcraft, and we sit and talk and everything.
Amazing.
It's really good. It's really opened up a lot of doors for people, So we got turned down twice when we put our application in because they didn't recognise mental health as a charity. We had to do it a different way, and we got accepted.
That's amazing. So you work in? Sorry, you said you just work in a factory.
Yeah.
So you've got like a normal run of the mill sort of job.
A normal 9-hour job. Yeah. I just work in a factory.
Can you tell us about the factory? What factory is it?
Not really.
Not
Is it an arms factory or something?
Yeah,
making
it might be.
dildos.
It might be. That's all I'm going to say.
Making dildos. That just about sums you up, that does.
No, fair enough. Wow. Okay. And then, so what kind of? I mean, that must have been a crazy kind of change from kind of, I guess, being on the front line to kind of doing that. But then, I mean, it seems like a stupid question, but I guess what kind of got you into doing the bushcraft thing?
I've always been interested in the outdoors, and since I was a kid, and learning different stuff like bushcraft stuff and just wilderness survival, and then becoming a sniper and learning more. Being a bit of a loner myself, I just excelled in certain stuff, and I wanted to share my knowledge with other people, and I thought, how can I do this? And I know, the shit end of the stick that veterans get in first line responders and stuff like that. So I thought I'd just see where it goes, and it's got bigger and bigger.
That's amazing. So I first came across you online about, I don't know, when was that? 15 months ago maybe, and it was the video of you saying about how you felt sad. And I tell you what, it comes up in my feed in various sort of forms, and I cry every time.
Yeah,
I do.
I cry.
I do feel sad. I do feel, I'm on a lot of medication to keep me sort of like going straight without falling off the wagon, and I feel sad. And I don't know why I feel so sad. And I say to my therapist, I just say to him, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel sad, and nothing I do will shake it, But my wife, I've got my wife, I've got my dog that my wife bought me in November called Steve. He keeps me on my.
Good name, solid name.
Yeah, solid name.
Is he a big dog, a big chunky dog?
Of course he's not.
He's a little Westie, but his lipstick keeps coming out. I don't know if you
can. Must be like usual Steve's.
Yeah. No, bloody not. And I bet that's been amazing. Like having, because obviously, God, I'm making some assumptions, and I know you'll tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure having a wife is absolutely amazing. But sometimes it's they can't. And I've not ever been in your situation, obviously, but they can't kind of understand the male mind, a lot of the time, I think. And I think sometimes it's nice to just have like a pet or whatever it might be, just to almost like a non-judgmental friend. Would that be fair to say?
Yes and no, because me and Tanya, we've been together now 20 years, and she's been for the tours with me and seen me when I've come back, seen me at my lowest, seen me suicidal and stuff like that. And she's been by my side, and we understand each other, and she gives me my space all the time, and she's so easy to talk to, and I don't feel scared to talk to her. There's certain stuff I don't talk to her about what I've done, but she gets the gist. And then, she calms me down. She's my yin and I'm a yang sort of thing. And then Steve into the mix is even better.
Everyone needs a Steve.
Yeah,
everyone needs a Steve.
Yeah.
So, do you mind me asking? So, did sort of your sort of depression or the sadness, did that come on from when you served?
I think I served in Kosovo, and I think I've got my sadness, my misery from there, digging mass graves up and sorting bodies out and stuff like that. And it was horrendous, because we went in as a fighting force, so we were meant to be there for 3 months and then get overtaken by peacekeeping force. But due to lack of bods, lack of people, we ended up standing there and doing the hearts and minds as well. So, and that's the clear up of it all. So, and I think back then, PTSD or mental health in the armed forces wasn't highly recognised.
So that was the 90s, wasn't it? Was it Kosovo in the 90s? Yeah,
1999. And I don't think, like I said, it wasn't recognised as much as it is now. And I felt. I got out after Kosovo just for a few months because I just wanted a breather. I just wanted to get myself back together again, and I couldn't hack civilian life, believe it or not. I think civilians, when I left, I do things different because I'm military, and civilians do something different as well. And I couldn't see eye to while they were doing stuff. So, yeah, I rejoined. And then I think 2 days after I rejoined, I went to
Wow.
And that was what was that, 2002?
2002.
2002, okay.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So it's so you think it sort of stemmed from there, and it's just been
Massively.
sort of
Massively,
just built up
yeah.
from there.
And I sort of like, I store it in my head, just get on with it. And because you move 1,000 miles an hour in the army, you haven't got time to think. You haven't got time to sit back and just think about what you've done. And that's a good thing because you always maintain busy. It's when you get out and slow down, that's when you start thinking, fuck, I've done this, I've seen this, and everything, Then I got blown up in Afghan on my last tour. And I think that just shattered everything in my head. So everything I was trying to hold back just came flooding forward, and I couldn't control my emotions. I was fucked, absolutely fucked. And I always say to people, medication's not the answer. Talking's the answer, and getting help is the answer. But no one will understand somebody with PTSD unless you got PTSD. These doctors, these students, whatever people treat you, they don't understand it unless they've gone through it themselves. And
Steve
I've always
said exactly the same thing.
Yeah, medication's not the answer, but if it stops me doing that and keeps me there, I will fucking take it any day of the week, And eventually I'll come off it. But I've been on it, 10 years now? And I'm still here. I'm still vertical, as I say.
That's the thing, right? Because and as Dave said, like I've spoken about on here, I mean my dad abused me when I was like 8 years old. Kind of come out with it at 15, and I've been on antidepressants like ever since. I mean I'm 40 next year, and I'm just trying to come off them at the moment, and it's hard, and because you forget what it's. You've got no benchmark anymore. You can't remember what you used to be like, so you don't really know if they're working or not anymore. And do you know what? You're so right about what you say about I'm not going to diss like the NHS and the medical system and everything, and I know you're not either, but it's, you can't go to uni, you can't, study for mental health and effectively help someone or guide someone unless you've been through it.
Trouble is, Steve, I will dish the NHS. They're shit. They haven't got a fucking clue. When a veteran walks on to their, in their office and they say, "What's your PTSD? What's your issues?" and you tell them, they don't know what to fucking do. They don't know what to do, because it's not like having a car crash or like in your case where you can be dealt with and stuff like that. Military is totally different. But I always say it's like a train track. You're going down that train track. PTSD, military will never cross over civilian, but PTSD is PTSD, and it will stay level with each other, but it will never cross over because you can't relate it to each other.
It's completely different, like you say, isn't it, as well? And I mean, and again, obviously, I only know what I'm saying now based on what I see on the news and everything. So I appreciate it's probably not the core of it, but there doesn't appear to be a lot of help for veterans. We're always hearing about veterans that are being left homeless. Veterans like yourself that have said that are not getting the support they need. It's almost like you kind of you give your whole self and being to the armed forces, and then you kind of come out and it's like, cheers dude, see you later kind of thing.
Is there any help? Like, do you, like, when you leave, is that it?
Basically, so your medical, if you've gone for the army or medical or for mental health, that will get passed on to the NHS, and because they're overrun by people with mental health issues, you don't get seen. Now in the military, you get seen. but because you're not in the military anymore, so they just transfer you over to the civilian way. And they only give you, once you do get seen, they only give you 6 sessions. That's all they fucking give you. And then you got to reapply. And they got to reapply. I could be fucking hanging from a tree by then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you've just, it's shit. They haven't got.
And it's a medication. It's like, take that and fuck off. You know, that's basically what it is, isn't it? And you know,
I've had an argument already with the mental health NHS, and I've said, all you're doing is fucking drugging me up, so I'm not a fucking issue to you. That's all you're fucking doing. You're not
money, isn't it?
Exactly. You're not curing the cause. You're just drugging me up to make me sleepy, lethargic, and everything. Now, I work 9 hours. You know, I'm up at 3:30 every morning. I go to work, I go to the gym, I go to work, I come back about 4:00 in the evening, and I'm fucked. I'm knackered. And it's due to what I've done in the day working, but it's also medication that I'm on as well, you know? And I've said to my therapist, I'm on shitloads of medication. Can I drive? What if I fall asleep at the fucking wheel? Am I covered on my insurance? You know, no one does this to you. It just says on the box, you may feel sleepy.
Yeah.
You know? It's just... Yeah.
It's just completely numbing you, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, my dad was on a lot of medication. Well, still is on a lot of medication for depression and that. And he drove for years.
Yeah.
And it's like, Dad, you probably shouldn't be driving. But it's just,
what does it make you feel like, Craig? Like, does it make you... Because I find it makes me feel like really kind of... Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah.
So
no emotions, is there?
Yeah, my missus could be stood there in sexy lingerie and I'll be going, all right, how you doing? Walk straight past her. And it's not the fact that I don't love her. It's not the fact I don't find her beautiful and sexy. I just feel fucking numb. It destroys everything to put you like that, you know, because they don't want you to drop. So you just feel numb to everything. And it hurts my wife because she's got needs as well, you know, and I don't show her them needs majority of the time at all, because I come home and I'm fucked, or I just get on with it, and I sort of forget her sometimes, which is not the thing to do.
I've got no reference point with that, because I've had various sort of mental health issues, but never. I've been offered medication a couple of times, and one time I did take it. It was about 20 years ago. Took it for about a week. It just made me feel horrendous. But I'm really close to my dad. My dad's had mental health problems for 20 years. And that's basically what he says. He just literally he's numb to everything. He's got no emotion. He struggles with any emotion at all. It's like just like that.
If you went to a family barbecue and everyone's laughing and joking, you just sat in the corner, you just want to go home because you don't fit in, you're just numb, you're not enjoying it. People are talking to you in your back head, you're going, just fuck off, mate, I'm not interested. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And do you have, like, I'm guessing you have, like, do you still have, like, mates that from the army that you still see and things like that, or no?
Don't speak to anyone. Don't speak to anyone. Hell. I left... when you leave the army under mental health, you get put into a clinic. It was like a clinic, and basically you get an officer in charge of you, and what he does, he looks after all your pension stuff, he sorts your gratuity out, what courses you can do while you're off, and you're not allowed back in the regiment at all. So the regiment just discards you, and you just get put into this...
What the fuck?
And you have to report there once a week just to make sure you're okay, or he'll come to your house to make sure you're all right, and that's it. You don't go back to the regiment. Well, that's my regiment did that to me anyway. But I know, like the Marines, the Paras, they've got a good association, a good ethos, you know, and they stick together, you know. And my regiment's very poor, very poor.
It's horrendous, isn't it? You go in the army, and if you're on the front line, you're putting your life on the line. You could potentially die. Like you said, you got blown up on your last tour in Afghanistan. I could fucking cry, honestly. And then you come out and you get treated like that.
Yeah, no, it's horrendous.
Honest to fucking God. It makes you wonder why. I don't even know what to say about it.
You know, no one hears this. And these people think, or the government, they give money to these charities. I'm not going to mention them. but I guess you know who they are.
Yeah.
They give these big monies to these charities. That money gets sucked up in administration fees, paying the fucking CEOs money and shit like that. They've helped a few veterans, but it doesn't go anywhere. I've reached out to them. They fucked me straight off, and I've reached out to other fucking charities that deal with veterans. They just fuck you off. And I pay for my own therapy out of my own pocket because, the other charities are absolutely shit. They were more interested in getting that in. And the government say, well, we've done our bit. We gave money to this and this and this. Oh, great. You know how shit they are, don't you? But they don't listen.
It's just box ticking, isn't it? They've made a donation or they've put some money into something. Yeah. Let's tick the box. We can say we've done it. I mean, how does that make you feel?
Jesus.
It makes me fucking angry. I remember I did a podcast with James English, and there was a photograph that I gave him, and it was Parliament, and it was Parliament, with the green seats and all that, and you can see the speaker at the back.
Yeah.
It was fucking chocker. Standing room only. You couldn't fit any more people in there. That was MPs' pay. The photo next to it was 6 MPs sitting in there as well, empty, just for these 6 MPs, and that was suicide in veterans.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So no one gives. No one fucking cares. No one cares. No one cares. They put me for the drugs, or they give you 6 sessions and they think you're cured, or they give you you have to apply in a couple of weeks' time. A couple of weeks, and you get pushed to the back of the queue because you've been before. Somebody else new comes in, you get pushed back even further. So,
but you know what? Like, I totally get, because your analogies just keeps playing on my mind about the railway track, and I totally get it now. Like, even more so, the more you're talking, like, because there is 2 very separate things here, and I'm not dismissing kind of general population's mental health, and I'm sure that myself included, lots of people dealing with issues, and they deal with them in many different ways, and all this kind of stuff. But you guys, if there was like a freaking scale on what you've seen, done, witnessed, breathed, like, it's just a different level, and you would think because of that you would get. It feels like they're just trying to do like the least for mental health overall. Just you're not the same as someone that stubbed their fucking toe and's a bit depressed over it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not dissing the person that stubbed their toe. One person's depression is the same person's depression. They're depressed, whatever it is, and I'm not dissing that for a second. But you would think someone like yourself would really get, really. I mean, you can't do more for your fucking country. I can go and pick up litter and get a fucking gold star. Do you know what I mean? For picking up litter around my community, but you literally cannot do more.
Yeah. So when you leave the army and you leave, say, on medical grounds that you've done something to your leg, and it's a long-term problem.
Yeah.
Is it really difficult to get that sorted out like it is mental health? Because I'm just trying to think. Do you go in the army and then, because we know it's all bollocks anyway, like fighting, it's all to do with money and all that, and they don't really care, governments, in my opinion, don't really care about the people. If they die, you die. It's fucking, it upsets me. I'm losing my train of thought. But, so if you were to get discharged, do you have the same problems with mental health as if it was like a broken leg that's maybe... Does that make sense? Can you get into the system as easy, or is it mental health that's a real...
Yeah, so if you broke your leg and you get discharged out of the military, you get discharged, you get medical discharge, and that's you gone. Yeah. Right? And the army's got no... and they probably give you some compensation from the army compensation scheme for having a broken leg and stuff like that, but that's it. But if you leave with mental health and PTSD, you're medical discharged, and you become a war veteran because it's from war. And you get a slightly better pension. My pension I had to fight for, and it took me. Well, I was out in 2013. I won my case in 2000, and just after 2018, I won my case.
Fucking hell! That's just what you needed as well.
Yeah, because I got fucked off twice. And the judge said to me, she goes, "You seem a very capable young man, Mr. Harrison." And I said to her, "You have never walked in my fucking shoes. You have never felt that rope around your fucking neck. You didn't feel that gun in my fucking mouth when I was going to kill myself." right? And she looked at me and she stood up and walked out the fucking courtroom, and I was disgusted. So I fought and fought and fought, and I won it in 2018. My
Why
case.
wouldn't they pay? What was the?
They don't. They pay you the minimum amount for your injury, and that's it. You have to fight for what you do, you know.
What
And
on
luckily,
earth?
I had some good people around me that really were on my case and helped me out. But there's some people out there just get fucked over massively, and I really feel for them, you know.
Hence why people end up on the streets, because they
Yeah.
lose everything and they maybe haven't got good people round them like you've had, and maybe you look like you've got some fucking fire in your belly. It looks like
Yeah,
it looks like, you know, you're not going to lie down, take shit lying down. You're going to stand up and be counted and actually do something about, you know.
And that's why you get a high suicide rate in veterans. You just become a statistic then, don't you? So that's it. Another veteran dead. Oh well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, do you know what? You're so right. You're so right. And so, you know, it's bad enough. Like, and the reason we're here, you know, and the reason we do this, right, is that blokes are notoriously shit at talking about their feelings because of this whole kind of ethos over the years. You know, certainly when I was growing up, I do think it's getting better in the younger generation of people being able to speak with each other. But there is inherently, you know, you're a man, you got to fucking man up, you got to just get on with it. I imagine that's like 20 times worse in the army.
I was thinking the same.
You know, because you cannot be, and again, I've got no experience. All I see is obviously, and don't be offended, like all I see is films and obviously
I thought you could say Dad's Army.
No, and documentaries and things like that. You know, where you got fellas shouting in your face and you know and you're not allowed, you know, and training and everything like this that looks horrendous. Like, is it, I imagine you've never been in a position where you can kind of, I don't even know what you do, come home, go back to the barracks or wherever it is at the end of the day and sit at your end of your bed with your mate and go, oh God, Jesus, I feel you bet you just can't do that.
No, you can't, because as soon as there's a tinkling of mental health issue, right, and they investigate and they dig you, and you go for you go down to Aldershot to the mental health unit down there. They give tests and stuff like that, and if you're really suffering, then you're out for the count, you know, all your service, and you're out. So they
So
put
you
you on.
can't get help. Sorry to interrupt. So you can't get. So say. So I'm answering my question myself. Really, there's no help within. Like, you stay in the army, and
There is, but there is help within the army. If you've got a good regiment behind you, there's good ones. And what's
Okay.
good is that I know lads that have been kicked out the army, but while they're transitioning out into Civvy Street from the army, the lads that are dealing with them have had PTSD and gone to Afghan, gone to Iraq, and they sense the issues. And now, because there's senior blokes looking after the younger guy, which is struggling, like I said, no one will understand somebody with PTSD if you got without having PTSD yourself. And these senior blokes are helping these younger lads do courses, better than themselves, getting their licenses and stuff like that. Instead of the army just fucking you off, the lads are actually helping each other, you know, and that's good to see. But this new generation coming in now that hasn't seen conflicts, you know, it's harder for them to understand what a person goes through when they see conflicts, if it makes sense.
I can't imagine what that must be.
And I imagine the officers are getting younger as well, aren't they? Because, you know, you basically get a graduate that comes through uni being made an officer. And you know, they've got a bit of paper that says they're such and such, and that's it. But like you say, they've not necessarily got that combat or life experience.
You must always listen to your troop sergeant. Always listen to your fucking troop sergeant, because he's the fucker that's been there. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's the one you're going to gain the most knowledge off and the information off to better your officer career, shall I say? You know, instead of the officer going, "Follow me," and just running off into the fucking Hulu. You know?
Yeah, no, just absolutely incredible. So, but then when I think, so you could be at your fucking lowest, like I say, sat at the end after like you come back, you've been blown up, or you've just had a kill, or whatever it might be. And you come back and you could be at your absolute lowest, but you can't talk to anyone about it because it'll all be for nothing. Because you'll basically be chucked out, made to feel even more worthless, than you probably already feel. And then I imagine there's guilt because you've left all your unit behind as well.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just not a solution. But but the other part of me thinks, what is the option? Because obviously
it's cheaper for the army to kick you out than give you
of
treatment.
course it is. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're just a burden to them now, and when you're trying to make up numbers, how many have you got in your regiment? Oh, I've got. Say this is a good example. Yeah, I've got 3,000 bods in my regiment. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, but trouble is 1,000 of them have got mental health issues. So then they're they don't work. So have you only got 2,000 in your regiment? Yeah, I have. And that's just an example of how it would work, So you might as well kick them out, recruit, get a new bunch of blokes in, and boost your soldiering skills up. So they work.
So how did you deal with it, Craig? Because obviously, like you say,
to this day now, I don't. I fucking miss it every fucking day. I miss it. I fucking hate Civvy Street. I fucking hate it. And I say to my wife, I suffer from suicidal ideation, right? And I think about it every single fucking day. Every single day since I've left the army. Because I fucking hate Civvy Street. I don't like the way some civvies work because I can't work it out my train of thought to their train of thought. Let's put a nail there. Move that there. We've got no room at all, but it looks fucking good. You're like, well, okay. That's just an example. Do you know what I mean? So, but I miss it. And I will always miss it. But I miss the bullshit, funny enough. I miss the discipline. I miss the purpose. And I miss the ethos, the camaraderie, the lads, and everything like that. And having the dark humour and having a fucking laugh, But do I miss my job as a sniper? Fucking right I do. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed it. And I was at the top of my game, top of my fucking game, And me and my mate he's my number two. She always work as a pair, And he got kicked out 2 years ago. And I said to him, it'll happen to you, mate. It'll happen to you. And it did happen to him. And I was there. And do you know when I said I don't talk to anyone? I talk to him. I text him every day just to make sure he's all right. And I said, all I say is just checking in. He goes, yeah, just checking in with you as well, mate.
Yeah.
And that's how we work.
Do you feel that that's almost become part of your purpose?
My missus says that because I do the Maverick School as well, and I help veterans and first line responders. But I've gone on now. I've realised now it's just not them. It's all civilians that suffer from mental health as well. So I've introduced them into my school as well. And I'm fully booked this year, and I sit down and listen to them. I listen to them, and we talk, and we have that dark humour, and we laugh and we fucking joke, and they leave there with a different attitude to life, and that's important to me,
Is that... Sorry, go on.
No, go on, mate.
No, I was going to say, because you said you feel like you don't have a purpose, but I'd say that's a pretty good purpose. I know you do your factory job Monday to Friday, which obviously probably is quite a struggle sometimes, but obviously it is. But then you get to the weekends, you do your Maverick School. It feels like a pretty good purpose.
But sometimes the misery takes over. Sometimes that depression that you cannot fucking control and the medication's not touching, you wake up and you feel fucking rock bottom and you thought, today's the day. Today's the day I'm going to fucking do it. And then you look at your wife and then you look at Steve and I think, not today. Not today.
So when it's, do you mind me asking, when it's like that, do you sort of, when you said you wake up and you think?
I do. And I think, and I put my feet on the floor and I say to myself, I'm committed. I'm committed for that fucking day. Committed for that day. And whatever that day throws at me, I'm going to I'm going to be here. He's getting me upset. Yeah, I'm going to be here, and my wife keeps me here. But I am scared. I am scared that it's not enough. Have I planned it? Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Have I written letters? Yes, I have. But medication helps. And do you know what? Fucking talking helps. And I'm 6'4" and I weigh 19 stone, and I talk,
mate. Absolutely.
Sorry,
you're absolutely spot on. Like,
I didn't listen to it. I apologise. I didn't listen to it. I couldn't. It's too much.
No, it's.
And I want to ask the question in a minute.
Go on. No, go.
No, please. You carry on.
No, yeah, it's. It's.
Sorry, Craig.
Both Dave and I have been in exactly that situation. Where it's a day's a day. And I think that's why it's kind of knocked you for two as well. It's and do you know what? Interestingly, guess what? One of us isn't on medication. I'm sat here fucking numb to it. Like you say, like just and that fucked me. It's yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
I'm going to ask.
My therapist says to me, she goes, Craig, when you talk about it, you just like yourself, Steve. You're just numb. You don't even flinch. Yeah, because I'm not scared of it. I'm not fucking scared. The trouble is, I always say, if I do it, somebody's got to find me, and then I've infected them with my misery. And then they're going to do it, and they're going to do it. So it's unfair for me to do it and infect someone with my misery. So I do suffer with it, and I cry when I go to work. I cry in my car. And I leave the gym and I cry and I cry and I cry, let it all out, and I cry coming home. And Tanya will say to you, you'll have a few good weeks and you'll dip again, And I said, but that's how it is for me now. And
but you're hard. Still here.
It's hard on Tanya. No one understands what partner goes through, and they all just think that it's just you. I reckon Tanya's got secondary PTSD from me.
I'm surprised. Yeah, my mum's been through the absolute ringer with my dad, like fucking.
But no one mentions
bad.
it.
No,
they're unspoken about, aren't they?
Yeah, and Tanya fucking she struggles, and sometimes she goes, "I don't know what to do, Craig. I don't know what to do." And I say to her, "Just be here for me."
Yeah. That's what I say to my girlfriend. Just doesn't have to do anything. She's like, "I don't know what to do." I might feel really shit sometimes. Luckily, not too often. She, what do you want me to do? I said, just be yourself. Just literally, just like be alongside me.
Yeah,
just supporting me. What I was going to say a minute ago was, when you wake up and you feel really crappy, like this is the day. Do you keep that contained, or do you say to, what was your wife's name again? Sorry. Tanya. It was Tanya. I was going to say. Do you say to Tanya, I've woken up, I feel crap? And if you do, does that make you feel better?
She says to me, she goes, you're not to yourself today, are you? And sometimes I lie and I go, yeah, I'm all right. And she said about an half an hour later, goes, Craig, I've been with you 20 years. There's something wrong. And I say to her, I just don't feel right today. I'm having a bit of a wobble, and that's what I call it. I have a bit of a wobble, And like I said, I wake up thinking of it, and I think today's the day. And we sleep in separate beds, me and Tanya, because I have really bad night terrors. And I've hit it before. And don't think we've slept in the same bed for years now. But Steve sleeps in the bed with me. And
Steve takes a flipping blow to the nose in the middle of the night.
he wakes me up in the morning when my alarm goes off. He'll come and puts his paw on me and stuff like that. And I think, okay, let's do today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel. And like I said to you two, talking is the answer. And even if you don't talk about your problems, talk about shit. Talk about random stuff.
Yeah.
Put a smile on your face and talk about it. Talk about conspiracy theory. Talk about, I don't know, anything. But one of them, try and keep your mind off what you're thinking. And if you feel comfortable in what you're talking about, you'll slowly open up without you even knowing you're opening up.
Yeah.
And I would say that's the point.
Yeah, I would say that to mates.
Yeah.
Like some mates, I've got a few mates that don't, and you've got kind of mates that don't really talk much. Just literally just talk. Like you say, just talk. It's about being like a part of a community. Like you're just talking about stuff. Doesn't even have to be anything specific sometimes. Just makes you feel like you're... And for me, when I felt low, like years back when I was really low, I didn't realise, but in hindsight, I just needed to feel like I was worthy of being in like a little group of people, in like a little community. It just felt... And now I've got that now. Yeah. I've got like, 2 mates now?
Yeah. One of them's not here.
One of them's not here.
2 of them's not here. Neither of them are here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to have gone on my phone and gone, today's the day, guys. Today's the day. Just to see how many people reach out to me. And they're your fucking friends.
I thought about that.
They're the ones that have fucking come back and goes, Craig, ring us, talk to us, do this, do that. Do you know what I mean? And they're your fucking mates. They're the ones that care. The ones that don't respond to it, yeah, they're just fucking dross.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and like you say, but there'll be the people that don't understand, and all. And, you know, Dave's right. Like I've got a couple of lads friends, and they're just, you know, that you can see them struggling, but they've got this kind of this thing that they just put up, and they just don't get it. You know, they just think they have to be this big beefy man. I mean, you saying you're what did you say, 6'4"?
6'4".
I mean, thank fuck you're sitting down. We're going to see you.
Almighty, fucking
Oh, you
cool,
didn't hear that? Yeah, 6'4".
No, I was fucking snivelling when you said that.
19 stone.
Fucking.
So he's an absolute unit.
Thank Christ we're doing. Thank Christ we're doing it on like a call. It put us to fucking shame.
And if
I'm sitting in my pants.
Oh,
yay! Yeah, and that's what I mean. And it's like, well, look, you know, if of everything you've been through, if you can do it, you know, if you can, I got to say, commend you really, Craig. You know, just carry on doing what you're doing. You know, because I don't think, you know, we talk about people that know PTSD and have been and have it and have been through it, but yeah, I don't think people get it, and I don't think, and you hit the nail on the head when you're speaking about your Tanya. I'm the same with my wife. I don't think we actually give too much thought, and I can only speak for myself, about how it affects them.
But you're numb to it, so you don't understand. You can't. The emotions are there.
And equally, you don't want to burden them with it, do you?
Exactly.
You know, my wife. Yeah,
you become almost selfish, as in when they've got problems, you think you're numb to it because you don't realise what issues they've got. You need to be a support for them as well, you know, and not ignore their needs when they're having a fucking shit day, you know. And you got to think. And I always think in my head, it's not all about you, Craig. It's about your partner as well. And together you make 100%. And if she's having a shit day, you need to comfort her as well. And you become absent-minded. And I'm a big one for that, massive one for that. You know, and I don't mean it. And I say to Tanya all the time, I'm sorry. You know, every morning you see on the fridge, if I open it, see them little sticks.
Yeah.
Every morning I leave a message on the fridge just to tell her I love her, you know, just to tell her what she means to me, because it's important that she needs to know. Even when my libido's shit and I'm feeling fucking numb and I'm having a shit day, at least she knows that I love her, you know.
Lovely,
no, that is. And I was, I had something I just wanted to say. My therapist talks about what we call the currency exchange, and I don't know if you can. It sounds like you go through the same kind of thing. In that, do you find yourself? I don't know. Like my wife might say to me, "Oh fucking hell, I've got no petrol in a car," and it's like it's the end of her world. And it's obviously a big inconvenience or whatever it might be. You know, it's stressed her out, and I feel like in my mind I don't say it. But I'm like, fuck me. Like, what's that compared to what I've got going on in my head? I wanted to kill myself this morning. Yeah. And you do feel a little bit like, and that's why we call it the kind of currency exchange, because it's like, you know, your stress and pain might be there, but mine's all the way up there. Like, why don't you fucking get it? And that does lead to a bit of resentment. And do you find that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, massively. I say to Tanya all the time, I don't know why you're with me. I don't know why you're with me, because I'm not the man you married. You know, I'm not that jokey, having a laugh, doing stupid things kind of guy now. I'm just depressed, and I am just sad, and I get upset. I don't mean to be sad, but I just can't control my sadness, and I try and hide it as much as I can. I wear a mask so well these days, and I try, and even when I do my school, I wear a mask because I listen to other people's problems, and I don't want to burden people with mine because they're not there for that. They're there for themselves, And yeah, I'm always sad, and I think me and Tanya had a sort of argument not so long ago, and because I just felt sad, and I said to her, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just not happy. I'm happy with my marriage, and I love her, but up here it's just fucking it's broken. I'm broken."
So, do you have any way of trying to get through like really low moments, or is it like I've just got to sit it out and just
ride it.
Passes? Do you have like do the weekends help you? Do you have something you really sort of like channel into?
And I think when Tanya says, when I come back from a weekend, she goes, "You're so happy, you're on high, because you've seen so many people and you've helped them and stuff like that. Like you said, that's your purpose." And she says that to me, that's your purpose, that's your purpose. But it doesn't matter how many people say it, if it doesn't sink in, it's not going to stay in your head, and you're
bloody
busy.
Medication,
yeah, same again, medication. Yeah.
Bit of an odd question, Craig. Do you get used a lot by people? Do people take your Do people take your kindness for granted?
And a weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, you help them
through the years now. Same with Tanya as well. We're very kind people. If you need help, we'll be there for you. And yeah, people have took the piss, and I've cut them out of my life. And have I got friends? Have I got true friends? I've probably got about three friends, and that's 23 years in the army and 10 years in Civil Street, and I can say I've got that. But
I think that's fucking sad, isn't it? I've got 4 mates that I can really say true mates.
Is that through choice, though, would you say? Or is that because, I don't know, people just...
Both, really. One, I don't want to infect them.
No.
I don't want to infect them with my misery. And I always say that, infect. Because if you stick a miserable person in a room with 10 happy people, half of them are going to be miserable after the end of the day because they go, "Look at Craig in the corner, miserable." And then you start talking and they all start fucking getting miserable as well. You've infected them with your misery. So I'm either a bit of a loner while isolating myself totally, or I just don't talk about myself and listen to other people's problems.
And then obviously that breeds the non-talking about your own issues.
Yeah.
And, hence why you spoke about masks just a minute ago. You put that mask on, you suffer in silence, and that just causes what's the solution generally? I mean, I know you're not, I'm just after an opinion. I know you're not.
Do you know what, though? Do you know what the solution is? I think you know what the solution is.
Get off no medication.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
What is the solution?
And that's what it feels like. That is what it feels like.
Yeah.
Because it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. It's over. But do you know what? And I think I picked up on this from you earlier. And I totally get it. The only thing, or one of the only things that stops you is that infection.
Yeah.
Someone's going to find you. It's going to be someone that you love, someone that loves you, and they're going to find you. And and I've said this before, like I picture my kids and my wife's face when they're stood over my body, or they get that knock on the door from the police, and that I would say it's only 1%, because it's not a lot. You know that. You know, it's nowhere near enough to really probably stop you going 99.9% of the way. But it's just enough to stop you pulling that trigger or jumping off that cliff or whatever it might be.
Yep.
And that's, yeah.
I don't know what the fuck to say.
No,
If I'm completely honest.
Yeah, it's do you know what? It's sad that's the solution.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, the reason what we're talking about is just to get people fucking talking. Just talk, because the more you talk, like you say, it gives you an extra little reason. You've got your weekends. You know, yes, you're spending it helping other people because it's a distraction. It's makes you feel, it gives you a bit of worth. Even though you've got so much probably fucking going for you, Craig. You know, you started this fucking conversation about being, you know, your sniper achievements, your career in the army, your wife, Steve the dog. You know, you've got so much going for you.
But you
but
just
doesn't feel like enough, does it?
You don't see it because you're numb to it. The medication makes you numb. You know, but the and I will say it to the listeners, you know, medication is probably not the answer, but it fucking helps. It fucking helps.
It's a plaster.
And fucking talking helps, you know. And I've left the army 10 years and I've suffered for 10 years now, constantly, every single fucking day. And I'm still here. I'm still here because I talk, because I take medication, and because I've got a good woman behind me that listens to me, or I've got a good friend that listens to me, you know, nothing to do with therapy. It's self-help at the end of the day. It's up to me. If I want it that badly, I'll find a way to make it work, you know?
No, I'm totally fucking.
So have you got any plans to like potentially sort of come off the medication slowly, or is it something that...
Not at the moment. They just changed my medication again because I feel so down on it and so lethargic and tired. They've changed it to a different drug. I take probably 7 different types of pills, and they're trying to wean me off one of them to give me another one. And I always say to the doctors, so what am I coming off? And they said, no, we're not coming off it. We're just upping it. And we're just introducing this other pill. I'm like, okay. All right, we'll give it a go. Because I don't want the demons to beat me, you know, and I don't want the sadness to beat me. I don't want this mask to fall off permanently and people see the real me, you know. And
what's the worst thing that would happen if the mask fell off and people saw the real you?
How broken I am, how sad I am, and I just feel like I have to say sorry all the time. Sorry for sorry.
Well, you don't need to apologise on it. You don't need to apologise for anything, mate. It's you're like, and I'm not saying it to blow smoke. I can hardly look at the fucking screen. I'm not saying anything of the following to blow smoke up your ass, but you're a real inspiration. Like, genuinely, you're a real inspiration for the shit you've been through, and you know and it's funny how you say you don't want people to see the real you, because the real you I've seen online, if that's what you're worried about, people seeing, and I fucking love it. I think it's brilliant. You're being vulnerable. People like that. I think you're an amazing person, and I wouldn't say that just for effect. I think it's sad that it's sad that it makes me sad that you're sad.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Yeah, no, and it's and there really is nothing, you know, like you say, there's nothing that it'd almost be amazing if there was a fucking miracle cure, you know, but it takes it takes people taking their lives, and it takes, you know, people being sad to even begin to get people listening, and they're not listening. People are not listening. We're just fucking blokes. We're just guys from the army. Just, you know, fucking get in your house and deal with it.
Do you mind if I ask a slightly more not question, but like when I said about what do you think would be the worst thing to happen? if people see you broken, to me, it's not a bad thing.
I know, but I don't know what's more exhausting, being broken or wearing a mask. You know, putting on an act for everybody.
Question, actually. Yeah.
Putting an act on for everybody, or letting the mask take control let the mask come off and you being yourself. Because depression is tired, it's exhausting because you're just battling it all the time.
Do you think if you were to let that mask slip and you showed your vulnerability, do you think that would be? Do you think that would help in the long run or be a hindrance?
Really, people judge you, don't they? People think you're a liability. I hope this reaches the right people when they think, fucking hell, yeah, I'm going to start talking now. I'm going to try medication,
That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah.
We said, this started from me and him. We've lived in the same fucking town for, you've been here since birth. I've lived here for 10 years. We've known of each other. I can't afford him. He's private chef. And we knew of each other, didn't we? And then we just had a pint one day and we sat down and we realised how fucking alike we were, how many fucking demons we've got, how much shit we've been through and continue to suffer with. We
just said, let's record it.
We just joked, didn't we? We should record this. And you know what? We've done it since, and we've had a couple of people that have got in touch, and we just talk shit. We're not interested in being fucking. There's plenty of podcasts out there with famous people, and it's all bloody production and everything like this. We just fucking, like we have done today, we chuck on a fucking camera, sit on a sofa, and talk. And we can only pray and hope that people that one person will listen. That one person that's woken up in the morning and gone, today's the fucking day, and they listen and they can maybe just take something from what we're saying, or like you say, just about not even talking about your dramas and your issues in your head and your thoughts and your, that fog that comes over, but actually just feels like that someone is the same as them will be enough to stop them from making and so that they can go to bed and they can wake up tomorrow. That our job's done. And that's all we want, isn't it? It's horrendous. There's not enough. I wore a mask for years. I took my mask off. My business went down the fucking pan, and now I've got about 2 or 3 friends. But do you know what? The 3 friends I do have now, I know would be there if I picked up the phone, or they'd, and I think you're so fucking right, and you are an absolute inspiration.
Yeah.
And don't ever fucking apologise, mate. Don't ever apologise. You sound like you've got a beautiful, caring wife that is there for you. She sounds phenomenal. I'm sure she has shit days as well. I know I put my wife through it as well, and never think she understands me, and she's against me and everything like that. But fucking hell. Craig, we've kept you ages, and I always ask a question at the end when we have a guest on.
Don't ask that one. Ask the proper one. It's too ask some proper questions.
Oh, fuck off. What's your definition of love?
Companionship, loyalty, truth.
Is that? They don't have to be. That's perfect.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal how different people are. When that was our very first episode, and mine was I wanted to be desired. And you know what? There's a part of me that thinks after speaking with you that you understand why I said that. And it's I wanted to be loved, unconditionally, and that's what love was. But as it's been a bit of a journey for me doing these pods with Dave as well, and it's not all about that at all. It's the things that you've just mentioned. It's what you said about having someone there to listen to you. Craig, you've been incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Shit. And I'd love, can we stay in touch?
Yes, mate. Yeah, by all means.
We'd love to come up and do beforehand when we were looking at your Maverick School. So Maverick School.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I thought I said the wrong thing.
I'd love to come up and
we'd
do
love
it.
to come up. Yeah, we
It'll have to be next year, though.
Yeah, it's fucking stacked up.
Yeah.
I'd be really. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
That'd be quite. That'd be a real.
It'd be nice to have a sit down and have a obviously, you know, not fucking recorded. You know, sit down around a campfire and have a good old fucking chat.
By all means.
We'd love that.
You meet the team. They're a good bunch of blokes.
Yeah, we'd like that.
Craig, incredible and inspiration. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, mate. You've been an absolute
I just
superstar.
hope I've reached out to people and this will sink into people, you know.
I think it will. I don't think you could have put it any. Yeah, you've blown me away, and I'm sure you've blown others away. But no, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you for being so vulnerable when you get worried about people seeing that side of you. Because I think it's what people need to see. So thank you.
Yeah.
And I apologise for crying.
And I apologise for not crying. That's the drugs for you, as we know. Cheers, Craig.
All right, guys.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers.
No worries.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye.